Decision making in Python can take another form called the ternary operation. Its syntax looks like this. The statement to be evaluated if the condition is true comes first, followed by the if statement, then the conditional expression, then followed by the else statement, then the statement to be evaluated if this conditional expression is false. So let's see an example of how this works. For example, if you want to print yes if a condition is true and print no if the condition is false, we can just use the ternary operation for this. So the first statement to be evaluated if the condition is true will come first, which is print yes. Then the if condition. So we can just have a simple if condition like if 4 is greater than 3, then we want to print no. Then that will be else print no. If we run this one now, we are going to have yes because this condition here is true. If you have to change this to if 3 is greater than if 3 is greater than 4, then the no is going to be printed because that condition is false. So the statement here is going to evaluate if this condition here is true, else this is going to be evaluated. So the long form of this one is if 3 is greater than 4, print yes, else print no. So these two codes are doing the same thing. This is just a longer way to say this. So the shorter way is to use the ternary operation. Another cool way to use this might be to use it with the print function. For example, if I want to say I want to go to class if today is Monday, else I want to go to library. So using the ternary operation, we can just say we can have a variable name today. So we can just set that to Monday. Then, so in the print function, we can just say I am going to. Then that will be the first statement. We can then have the condition here. We have class if today equals Monday, else I want to go to library. So if we run this one now, since we've set today to be equals to Monday, the first part of the print statement is I am going to. The second value here is going to be either class or library depending on if this condition here is true. So since this condition here is true, since we already set today equals to Monday, then this is going to print I am going to class. So if we print this one now, we have I am going to class here. So if we change this condition to something like if today is Sunday, since we already set today equals to Monday, this is going to evaluate to false. And if we print this one, I'm going to have I am going to library. Another usage is seen if you wish to select between true values based on a condition. Like if you want to pick the smallest between true values, the normal way to do this is to say x is equals to 3, like y is equals to 4. So if you want to give, if you have a variable called minimum and you want to give it a value of the minimum value between x and y, so we can just say if x is less than y, then minimum is equals to x, else minimum is equals to y. We can just then print minimum. So if we run this one now, we are going to have the minimum value, which is equals to 3. So if you want to use the ternary operator, you can just cut this one out and say minimum is equals to x if x is less than y, else y. What this is saying is that you should assign the value of x to minimum if x is less than y, else you should assign the value of y to minimum. So if we print minimum now, print minimum, this is going to print the minimum value between x and y, which is equals to 3. You see, that's cool, right? Yeah. And lastly, let's talk about the pass statements. Occasionally, when you are programming, you might need a placeholder for a code block you haven't implemented. For example, you want to print hello if a condition is true and something else otherwise, but you don't know what to print in the else for now. So if you have something like if true, print hello, else. So you don't know what to put inside this else block now. If you leave this like this, is going to be an error. So in order to prevent this, we can just put the pass statement here. So the pass basically means pass and do nothing. It's not going to do anything. So we only have hello here. That's the hello we printed. So that's about the pass statement. Before we conclude, as a practice question, write a program that generates a random number between 1 and 10 and asks the user to guess the number and print a message based on whether they get it or not. So the program is going to generate a random number. We talked about the random module in the last tutorial. I'm going to leave a link to that in the description below. So write a program that will generate a random number between 1 and 10. So if the random number generated is equals to the value the user guessed, then you should print a message if they get it, and if they don't, print another message that they don't get it. The second is write a program that asks the user how many credits they have taken. If they have taken 23 or less, print that the student is a freshman. If they have taken between 24 and 53, print that they are a sophomore. The range for the junior is 54 to 83, and for the senior is 84 and over. So in this tutorial, you were introduced to the bool data type, the conditional operator, the conditionals that alter the control structure of a program, and the pass statements. All these concepts are important as they will aid you in building more complex programs. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for the 200 subscribers. I really appreciate you guys, and thank you for your support. I look forward to seeing your comments and reactions. Thank you, and I'll see you guys in the next tutorial.